What is the biggest mistake small businesses make when they bring in new technology? Now, I think personally, and we've been in this situation, the biggest thing that I find when we've brought new technology in is that we have one person who's an advocator and, yep, this is cool, we've got to get it. It costs this much, but we're gonna definitely use it, and we implement it, and then no one uses it because no one understands how to use it. There hasn't been an onboarding process. We haven't really identified if it's going to be of benefit, or we may have identified down the track that it was a benefit, but then we outgrew that benefit. So what biggest mistakes, what do you think?
So a classic one, well, it's not classic, but there are tools and things, depending on who your organization is going to be utilizing these tools. I'm not saying necessarily generationally, it's also just how people think and how people function.
Well, I think also there's going to be more people that are techie.
But what I was going to say is we used a project management tool in our company, an agile project management tool.
Oh my God, this
Confluence,
tool.
We use Jira, Confluence.
Oh my God.
It's really good.
Can I just say, I am not dissing Atlassian's products because they are brilliant. But for me, I don't have an engineer mind. And
depending on how you think.
To work backwards to move forwards, I'm sorry. I can't, I just don't have that mind. So I know for engineers, software devs, they're brilliant products, and Atlassian have done an amazing job in bringing these products to market and solving a problem. But for us non-techies, and hang on, let me reiterate, I am a techie. I'm probably what you call No, I know I'm a creative, but I want to be techie in the sense that I understand a lot around how tech works. I understand words when I say like coding. I understand terminology. I understand how things interact, what it does, all of that. I just can't code, and I can't use these platforms because I literally look at them and go, WTF, I have no idea even where to start, even though I've read the manual. And I also find this with Google when it's like, okay, this is how you do something, and I read it and I'm like, I swear this is in some foreign language that no one else can understand. Yeah. Or me especially can't understand.
Because, so getting back to finding technology, it's what I would suggest is if you're looking to solve a problem or bring some sort of piece of tech in, before you bring the tech in, really define the problem. Define what's important, what's not important.
Well, it's not even what's important. So what do you want to use it for?
All these things, because when you start identifying that, actually score the tools that you're looking at and have more than one person scoring it. Based on the criteria
Hang on, let's just go back. Okay, let's, for the audience, define what you mean by scoring. Is this something where they create a table in Excel?
So let me go back. This is a strategy you use when looking at comparing tools and that. You build a criteria on fit for purpose, what problems it solves, features, look and feel, cost, and that. And then whoever is in your group is evaluating, has to be more than one person, because that doesn't work with one person just scoring.
Like we've done.
So have a few, I would say 3 people at different levels in your organization, because this tool that's going to be used by different levels, it has pain points and will address different problems for each person. So when you get demos, have everyone being there at the demonstration and all, so they can demonstrate in that. And then everyone scores it, say 1 to 5, on 1 being, however you want to do it, 1 being the lowest and 5 being the best on each thing. And then once you score it, you bring the scores together and see how they compare. And then a definite winner will pop out. And it may be unexpected, but that's why it becomes less pushy by one person and more of a group consensus to then trial it. Because again, just saying out there, if someone demonstrates something, have them demonstrate it fully, because sometimes they'll demonstrate something and it works the way they have it in the demonstration, but then in practice it doesn't work that way. So you just need to be fully clarified.
But it's also asking the right questions to, let's just say you're getting a demo, and I highly recommend you get a demo.
Well, what I was saying is we've been helping some of our clients. They're looking at tools. They're not techie. They don't understand the ins and outs. So we've been...
Well, they just want to understand the solution. How's this going to help me?
So we've been going out and evaluating the tools on behalf of them because we know their business and we also have an understanding of technology to get a better look and feel of which tool we think from our basis would fit their needs.
Yeah, yeah.
But before that, we also did is we built a proof of concept earlier version of their system in Google because they already pay for it.
Yeah.
Just to trial and see how they work, and that's when we realized we need a separate tool.
Yeah. But again, getting back to if you're looking at technology, the first thing, even when you're getting a demo from, let's just say you've booked a demo for this particular technology, the one thing I would do is come with questions. And I would be looking even with out of the box questions of, can it do this? Because even though you don't know it can do it, it may be able to, or there may be a function within that system.
Or you may need a separate module to do that one feature, and that's an extra cost. And these are things you don't know until
Exactly, yeah, because it may have it on the website, and it may have it in their pricing plan, but then, you get such a small smidgen of what you actually need in that pricing plan, then you've always got to upgrade. And we've done this, classic example. So we built this funnel, and we ended up getting a sales funnel, and we ended up building this. We created a scorecard through Typeform, and Typeform, really great platform. However, when it came to the whole automation process, and even though I paid for this subscription, we had to end up buying the next tier up, which is significantly different, just to be able to connect.
One feature.
Yeah, the one feature of this automation. And so at the time when we researched it, and look, I'm going to put it out there, I'm going to blame the elephant in the room here that he didn't do his due diligence well enough around the tech, but it is what it is. Again, it ended up costing me double for this feature, but the feature did what it did, and we had to bear that cost. But in some of these examples, it's a lot of money. If you can't afford to wear that cost for one single feature that will connect the dots, or you haven't done your research, that cost eats into your profits.
The other thing to note when looking at vendors, aside from their technology, and it will spark Gab's
trauma?
Not trauma, but this is one of your pet peeves.
My pet peeves,
This will bring you another thing to bear in mind is what's their sales process and communication strategy leading up to the product?
Give me an example.
Well,
obviously there's a few.
How long it takes you to get a demo and reaching out, and you're trying to get a demonstration of a product, and you're being bounced from sales rep to sales rep or communication.
This I could have thrown my computer out like the window because of this. And obviously we're not going to mention the companies or whatever, but to give you an example of poor customer experience is when, obviously we're in Canada. So we automatically, it goes to the US sales team. So I reached out because we just wanted to understand
a product for a client.
Yeah, and this process.
And also, is there a difference? Because this is another question. When you're looking at products and they sell internationally, sometimes products behave and have different features for different regions based on regionality and things.
Yeah.
So we
but not
to make
even
sure,
only that.
But we wanted to make sure, it was one of the things, we wanted to make sure, because we're helping a client in Australia, is this thing that we're looking at, is the features that we're looking at going to be exactly the same
I'm actually talking about a different one where this wasn't for an Aussie client. This was for a different client, different region, different part of the country, where we just wanted to understand whether this product could integrate with a CRM system that this company was thinking of utilising. And so reached out to the team. I got a, thank you. Hey, all I want to do is book an appointment so I can just have a conversation and just get the answers. It went from one to an account manager. The account manager, after a week of not replying to me, got back to me. Oh, yeah, no, this has got to go to a different person. Sent it to the different person. And again, and I had all of this in an email, that they came up with the question I originally asked. And so me getting a bit narky, I went back and said, did you read my email? It's all in the email, see below. They came back to me and said, oh, yeah, sorry, no, this is going to have to go back to another person. After 4 people, all they could have said to me was, okay, you got to speak to the tech team. The tech guy, amazing, told us all we need. It was a 20-minute virtual call, but I had to go through 5 people over 2 weeks. It was like a 3-week period before we even got to that conversation around, can you do this, 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 and this? And he's like, yes, no, basically.
But answered all the questions.
Answered all the questions. But again, we wasted so much time trying to get those answers. So I guess the moral of this story is that, one, if you are selling a product or service, look at your customer journey. And if you've got to go through 4 different people. When we're going back to choosing technology, I guess there's a couple of things that are really important. So the one thing is that, okay, we've, build a little bit of a table for yourself to analyze the technologies.
As it fits your purposes.
Yeah,
fit for purpose, fit for purpose, features, cost, implementation, service. You can have your
support.
AI, you can have Gemini and then you can ask it, we're trying to evaluate a product. Can you help us create a thing to measure? We're going to look at vendors, have it build a table. It'll help you build a table for you to assess.
Yeah, AI is really good with that. If you give even if you give the information or you give the web address and you get it to do analysis on, let's just say you're thinking about choosing 3 different technologies. Get it to do an analysis, but be specific around it. So the problem, what tech support's
what's your budget like,
the budget, all of that.
And it will help it will help you at least bring to light some things that you may have not picked up on.
The second thing I would highly recommend is that you work out within your business who this is going to benefit. If it's only going to benefit one person, and again, this could be job specific, okay, then you have to make sure if it's benefiting that person, okay, do these tools work with other tools? Because costs to business are obviously really high, and you want to make sure that something or there's an ability for that technology to tap into your other technologies.
What's your return on investment?
Yeah.
So if you're spending money on this, what is it improving? Is it helping you do something? Is it reducing costs? Is it reducing time? Is it making your outputs better?
Yeah.
Look at directly how this is helping you.
But also how it helps you within your ecosystem of technology. And I think the third thing, which we haven't touched on yet, is that, with your technologies, it's super important that you have some kind of documentation for your team around how this technology is to be utilized within your business.
Well, it's often like a change methodology. How are you changing what you're doing to how the technology is being used? You may not change necessarily steps, but the technology in it changes a bit, those steps and how it does.
But it's also that process, for example, if you're looking at a tech environment, say with Confluence, okay, and often you guys are using that because it has so many other features, and especially when you're talking around, I guess, your Scrum and your product development cycle and all this.
Agile project.
Yeah, it's agile project management and how that kind of works. It's looking at even those hierarchical orders of, okay, we've got this technology, who uses it, who's in charge of the decision making. It's those processes and mapping those out because, again, let's just say you've got a new employee coming in and they don't know, they just think, oh yeah, I've used this technology before, I'm going to do it my way. You may want it to be done a certain way within your business, because that's how it's evolved and that's how it runs efficiently in your business.
So, for example, our CRM system, I've customized it to suit the company's needs, which is very different how other companies use it. Like the way our contact dashboard is very different because it's got lots of cards based on those different workflows and how that, so that at one given time you can find the information quickly. But so you may be familiar with it, but our workflow can be completely different.
And you don't want an employee suddenly deciding, you know what, I want to do it this way because that's the way I'm used to it. So, you know, having the documentation, having that decision-making, I guess, hierarchy is like super, super important within your business.
And also just on that note, when it comes to like, I built a lot of this to make the business easy. It still took consultation with the group to say, is this view helpful in that? Because my idea of what is helpful
is never helpful.
Not the same as other people's view of health. Because the task that I'm doing, I need certain information, which may not be relevant to others on a day-to-day basis.
Or it's too much information.
Or it's too much information.
Yeah.
So it's just getting a fine balance and then building it in ways that are helpful. Yeah. Some things are helpful for them and some things are helpful for me. So.
Yeah, exactly.